Did you know that 73% of professional drivers report missing at least one major family event per month? Yet the drivers who build the most successful trucking careers are often the ones who miss the most? This isn't a cruel irony. It's a painful truth that reveals something profound about sacrifice, vision, and what it really means to provide for your family. Clarence C.L. Werner understood this paradox better than most. In 1956, the 19-year-old farm boy from Nebraska sold his only car to buy a single truck, knowing that every mile he drove away from home was a mile toward building something bigger than himself. Born during the Great Depression in a house with no electricity, no running water, and snow that blew through the cracks onto his bed covers, Werner learned early that comfort was temporary, but character was permanent. When he started Werner Enterprises, he faced a choice that every trucker knows intimately: be present for today's moments or absent for tomorrow's security. Werner chose the harder path, spending weeks away from his wife Rachel and their growing family, missing birthdays, anniversaries, and countless ordinary moments that never come again. But Werner understood what the ancient Stoics taught, that sometimes the greatest act of love is accepting the pain of separation to build something that serves your family better than your presence alone ever could. Whether you're in CDL school wondering if you can handle being away from home, a new driver struggling with loneliness on your first long haul, or an experienced driver considering owner-operator status, this choice between presence and purpose will define your career. The question isn't whether you'll have to make sacrifices, it's whether you'll make them with stoic wisdom or bitter resentment. In the next 20 minutes, you'll discover the exact framework that transformed Werner from a broke farm boy into the chairman of a $3 billion transportation empire, and how these same principles can guide you through every stage of your trucking career. We'll explore the Stoic hierarchy of sacrifice, understanding which absences serve your family and which ones simply serve your ego, a distinction that will save you years of guilt and help you make career decisions with clarity and confidence. You'll learn the long-term vision protocol that Werner used to stay motivated during lonely nights in truck stops, seeing each missed family dinner as an investment rather than a loss, and how this mindset shifts as you progress from company driver to owner-operator to fleet manager. We'll dive deep into the present absence paradox, how to be fully engaged with your family when you are home, making your limited time together more valuable than endless hours of distracted presence, a skill that becomes more crucial as your responsibilities and opportunities grow. Most importantly, you'll understand the delayed gratification framework that separates drivers who build something lasting from those who simply survive paycheck to paycheck, showing you exactly how to measure whether your sacrifices are building towards something meaningful or just feeding an addiction to motion. Whether you're currently in CDL school worried about the impact on your family, a new driver feeling guilty about missing your child's first steps, or an experienced driver wondering if the sacrifices are worth it, these principles will help you navigate the emotional complexity of a career that demands your physical absence but rewards your strategic thinking. By the end of this episode, you'll have a complete system for making sacrifice decisions that align with your values, your family's needs, and your long-term vision, turning the pain of absence into the power of purpose. Meet David Martinez, and his story probably sounds familiar because it's the story of thousands of drivers at different stages of their careers. 3 years ago, David was a 28-year-old warehouse supervisor in Phoenix, making $42,000 annually with benefits and a predictable schedule that had him home every night by 6 p.m. for dinner with his wife Maria and their 6-year-old son Carlos. David never missed Carlos's Little League games, helped with homework every evening, and tucked his son into bed with stories and prayers. Life was comfortable, predictable, and financially tight. When the warehouse announced layoffs, David faced a choice: find another warehouse job with similar pay and limited advancement, or pursue his CDL and enter trucking with the potential for significantly higher earnings, but the certainty of being away from home. Maria supported the trucking decision, understanding that David's warehouse job had no real growth potential, and their current income wouldn't cover Carlos's future college expenses or provide the family security they wanted. David enrolled in CDL school, spending 3 weeks learning pre-trip inspections, backing techniques and DOT regulations, while coming home each evening to help Carlos with his math homework and maintain their family routines. The training felt manageable, challenging but doable, with the promise of better income and more opportunities ahead. But then came David's first over-the-road assignment, a dedicated route from Phoenix to Memphis and back, running on a 7-day cycle that meant he'd be home for 34 hours every week. The money was substantially better, $65,000 in the first year with potential for $75,000 as he gained experience. But it meant missing most of Carlos's baseball season, being absent for weeknight dinners, and leaving Maria to handle bedtime routines, school conferences, and weekend activities alone. David's first trip out was an emotional roller coaster of excitement about his new career and guilt about the empty chair at the dinner table where he'd sat every night for the previous 6 years. According to the American Transportation Research Institute, 89% of truck drivers report that family separation is their biggest career challenge, rating it higher than pay concerns, regulatory compliance, or even safety issues. Yet here's the paradox that confuses most drivers. The same study shows that drivers who embrace longer haul opportunities and accept more family separation in their first 5 years earn 40% more over their careers and report higher job satisfaction than those who prioritize staying local. This isn't because truckers don't love their families. It's because the drivers who understand delayed gratification create more opportunities for themselves and ultimately provide better for their families than those who optimize for immediate presence. The problem is that our culture has no framework for understanding noble sacrifice versus pointless absence. We're told that good fathers never miss their children's events, that dedicated spouses are always present, and that success should never require choosing between career and family. But these cultural messages ignore the reality that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is accept temporary separation to build long-term security. The statistics reveal the cost of not understanding this principle. Drivers who change companies every year chasing local routes earn 35% less over their careers, have 60% higher divorce rates, and report significantly higher stress levels than drivers who commit to building expertise and seniority with quality carriers. Meanwhile, families of drivers who embrace the sacrifice and build mentality report higher financial satisfaction, more pride in their spouse's career, and children who demonstrate greater independence and resilience. The difference isn't in the amount of sacrifice. It's in the purpose behind the sacrifice and the wisdom used to make these difficult decisions throughout your career. The ancient Stoics understood that the highest form of love often requires accepting pain that serves others more than ourselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive can bring none to the bee," recognizing that individual sacrifice often serves the greater good of the family unit. This principle guided Clarence Werner through the most difficult decision of his early career. In 1958, 2 years after starting his trucking company, Werner had built his operation to 3 trucks and was earning a modest but growing income. His wife Rachel was pregnant with their second child, and Werner faced a choice that would determine the trajectory of his family's future. The Interstate Commerce Commission had granted Schneider Transport expanded authority to haul paper products across multiple states, and they offered Werner a subcontracting opportunity that would double his revenue within 2 years. The catch: it required Werner to spend 4 days a week on the road, leaving Rachel to manage their growing family largely alone during the most critical expansion phase of their business. Werner could have chosen the safer path, staying local, being present, earning less but maintaining daily family routines. Instead, he applied Stoic reasoning to his decision. He asked himself 3 questions that would guide his career for decades. Will this sacrifice serve my family's long-term interests better than my immediate presence? Am I avoiding this opportunity out of wisdom or out of fear? Can I commit to making my limited family time more valuable than unlimited distracted time? Werner chose the expansion opportunity, but he structured it with Stoic discipline. He committed to being fully present during his 3 days home, turning off business concerns and focusing entirely on Rachel and their children. He used his road time for strategic thinking, planning the business growth that would eventually allow him to spend more time with family from a position of financial strength, rather than constant worry about making ends meet. Here's how Werner's Stoic approach to sacrifice translates into practical steps for drivers at any stage of their career. First, implement the 3-question framework before making any major career decision that affects family time. Question 1. Will this opportunity create more long-term value for my family than the immediate comfort of staying close to home. This isn't just about money. Consider skill development, industry connections, equipment experience, and reputation building that compound over years. Question 2. Am I making this choice from wisdom or from fear? Fear-based decisions often disguise themselves as family dedication, but actually stem from anxiety about change, uncertainty about capabilities, or resistance to the discomfort that growth requires. Question 3. Can I structure this opportunity to maximize the value of my family time when I am home? This means creating systems and routines that make your 34-hour restart more meaningful than someone else's 70-hour week of distracted presence. Second, develop what Werner called investment thinking about your career moves. Every sacrifice should build towards something specific: higher pay, better equipment, industry expertise, business ownership, or financial security. Random sacrifices that don't compound toward clear goals create resentment and family strain without providing the benefits that justify the pain. Third, create the present when present protocol that Werner used to maximize his limited family time. When you're home, be completely home. No phone calls about loads, no worrying about next week's schedule, no mental energy devoted to work concerns. This concentrated attention often creates stronger family bonds than diluted presence spread across more hours. Werner's commitment to purposeful sacrifice created a career trajectory that most drivers can learn from, regardless of their current experience level. As a new driver in the late 1950s, Werner took every challenging load offered, including difficult routes and demanding customers that other drivers avoided. While his peers complained about tough assignments, Werner saw them as paid education in handling complex logistics, difficult customers, and challenging driving conditions. He understood that the skills and reputation he built during these difficult early years would create opportunities that wouldn't be available to drivers who prioritized comfort and convenience. By his third year, Werner's willingness to handle challenging loads had made him the preferred driver for several major shippers, giving him consistent work and premium rates that allowed him to purchase additional trucks and expand his operation. Werner's family sacrifices during these foundational years were strategic investments that compounded over time. The evenings he spent away from home planning routes and analyzing costs gave him the business knowledge to make profitable decisions as his company grew. The weekends he spent maintaining equipment and building relationships with customers created the operational excellence that distinguished Werner Enterprises from competitors who treated trucking as just a job rather than a profession. As Werner's company expanded through the 1960s, his role evolved from driver to executive, but his Stoic principles remained constant. He still traveled extensively, but now his absences were building an organization that employed thousands of people rather than just supporting one family. When Werner's children were teenagers, he would bring them to the company offices during school breaks, teaching them the business principles and work ethic that had created their opportunities. His son Gary later reflected that his father's absences during his childhood created a deeper appreciation for their time together and taught him lessons about dedication and long-term thinking that shaped his own career success. The advanced application of Stoic sacrifice principles requires understanding how your relationship with family absence evolves throughout your trucking career. Werner discovered that the nature of meaningful sacrifice changes as your experience and responsibilities grow. As a company driver, your sacrifices primarily serve your immediate family's financial needs and your own skill development. The nights spent in truck stops learning backing techniques, studying industry regulations, and building relationships with dispatchers and customers create the foundation for future advancement. As you progress to trainer status or specialized hauling, your sacrifices begin serving a broader community. The new drivers you mentor, the customers who depend on your expertise, the other drivers who benefit from your professionalism setting industry standards. Werner understood this progression intimately. When he transitioned from owner-operator to fleet owner, his sacrifices shifted from personal income to organizational building. The evenings he spent developing driver training programs, implementing safety protocols, and building customer relationships weren't just about growing his business. They were about creating an organization that could provide careers and financial security for hundreds of families. This is the ultimate Stoic principle. Individual sacrifice that serves the greater good creates meaning that transcends personal cost. Werner's approach to managing family relationships during this career evolution provides a template for drivers at any level. He established what he called family investment protocols, specific ways to ensure that his professional growth also strengthened his family bonds rather than simply compensating for his absence. These included bringing family members into business decisions when appropriate, sharing the vision and progress that justified the sacrifices, and creating special traditions and experiences that were only possible because of the opportunities his career had created. Most importantly, Werner never asked his family to sacrifice for his dreams without ensuring that those dreams served their interests as well as his own. Fast forward to today, and David Martinez has completely transformed his relationship with the sacrifice and vision principle through applying Werner's Stoic framework. 18 months after his first uncomfortable trip to Memphis, David now runs a dedicated pharmaceutical route that keeps him out 5 days, but pays $78,000 annually with exceptional benefits and regular home time. More importantly, his strategic approach to career building has positioned him for owner-operator opportunities that could double his income within 3 years. Carlos, now 8, has adapted to the rhythm of David's schedule and actually looks forward to their concentrated time together on weekends, when David is fully present and engaged, rather than distracted by work stress and financial worry. Maria reports that their marriage is stronger because David's career satisfaction has eliminated the financial stress that previously created tension in their relationship. The family has moved to a better neighborhood, established college savings for Carlos, and purchased the reliable vehicles and home improvements that create daily security and comfort. David's sacrifice wasn't just about earning more money, it was about building a career foundation that creates options and opportunities for the entire family. Here are your immediate action steps for implementing the Stoic sacrifice framework. First, conduct the 3-question analysis on your current situation. Evaluate whether your career choices are serving long-term family interests, whether your decisions stem from wisdom or fear, and whether you're maximizing the value of your family time. Second, establish your investment thinking approach by clearly defining what your sacrifices are building toward. Write down specific financial goals, career milestones, and family outcomes that justify temporary separation. Third, implement the present. When present protocol by creating boundaries that separate work concerns from family time, ensuring that your limited hours at home are concentrated and meaningful rather than distracted and diluted. These principles work whether you're considering CDL school, evaluating your first driving job, or planning your transition to owner-operator status. Next week, we'll explore how to apply the Stoic principle of the obstacle becomes the way when your truck breaks down 2,000 miles from home, turning equipment failures into opportunities for growth and demonstrating to yourself and others that you have the resilience to handle any challenge this industry presents. Here's your 7-day challenge to master the Stoic sacrifice framework, designed to help you at whatever stage of your trucking journey you're currently experiencing. Each day, spend 15 minutes applying one element of Werner's approach to your situation. Day 1. Complete the 3-question framework evaluation. Write down your honest answers about whether your current career choices serve your family's long-term interests, whether your decisions stem from wisdom or fear, and whether you're maximizing your family time when you're home. Day 2. Define your investment thinking by creating a written vision of what your career sacrifices are building toward. Include specific financial goals, timeline for achievement, and family outcomes that justify temporary separation. Day 3. Implement one element of the present. When present protocol, choose a specific time period when you're home and commit to complete focus on family without any work-related distractions, devices, or mental energy. Day 4. Research career advancement opportunities that would justify strategic sacrifice, whether that's specialized endorsements, trainer qualifications, owner-operator preparation, or company advancement programs that align with your long-term vision. Day 5. Have an honest conversation with your family about the sacrifice and vision principle. Explain how your temporary absences are investments in their future security and ask for their input on what would make your limited time together more valuable and meaningful. Day 6. Calculate the true cost-benefit analysis of your current approach. Compare the financial and career trajectory of staying local versus accepting opportunities that require more sacrifice, but create more advancement potential. Day 7. Make one concrete commitment based on your week of analysis. Whether that's accepting a more challenging assignment, enrolling in additional training, or setting boundaries that make your family time more concentrated and valuable. Remember that this framework works for drivers at every career stage. CDL students can use it to evaluate training programs and first job opportunities. New drivers can apply it to route selection and company choice, and experienced drivers can use it for owner-operator decisions and business development. The key is understanding that Stoic sacrifice isn't about suffering. It's about making purposeful choices that serve something greater than immediate comfort. If this episode helped you understand that missing your kid's game might sometimes be the most loving thing you can do, subscribe to this channel because we're building a community of drivers who understand that professional success and family devotion aren't opposites. They're partners in creating the life you want for the people you love. Share your own sacrifice and vision stories in the comments. What family events have you missed for career reasons? And how did those choices ultimately serve your family's interests? Your experiences might help another driver who's struggling with the same difficult decisions you've successfully navigated. Remember, every mile you drive away from home can be a mile toward building something better for your family. As long as you're guided by wisdom, purpose, and the Stoic understanding that true love sometimes requires accepting temporary pain for permanent gain. Thanks for staying with us, and see you in the next episode.